What's going on? What's going on, everybody in the free Facebook group and in YouTube? Thanks for following. Make sure you drop me a hashtag live if you're watching this live, and make sure you are dropping me a hashtag replay if you're watching this as a replay. So, this is my commitment to you guys to drop in here, on a weekly basis and give you free tools to analyze deals and find the profit, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all worth. So we are using StreamYard. So if you guys have any questions, comments, if you want your name or for me to know who's talking, just because the way that it's set up, make sure you provide StreamYard, you grant them access. So a lot of wins happening in the REI game. For those of you that are new to the group, welcome. This is our weekly live deal desk review. So if there's a particular address you'd like for us to analyze, first come, first serve. I separate 1 hour of my day on Wednesdays to come in here and make sure that we're adding value to the community, make sure that we're providing you guys and gals with tools for free so that you guys can get some momentum going. So I definitely appreciate all the love. Give me a hashtag live watching this live and a hashtag replay if you're watching as a replay. Today, the address that I have on deck is in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to be going to Atlanta, Georgia. I remember going to Atlanta, Georgia, visiting as a kid when my mom took me for the Olympics, and that was amazing. And what I'll say is that, in any real estate investing business, we make the money on the buy and we have to figure out where the profit is at. And so that's why I decided to kind of have these sessions so that you guys and gals understand that there's many ways and there's many profit centers to a real estate investing deal. We actually have a completely free live course with the all analysis profitability sheet. And this is really meant to get your brain going, kind of thinking different, not the hype, not the flashy stuff, but actually looking at the deals and see what may be a best fit, whether you are looking to wholesale the deal, whether you're looking to close on it, whether you're looking to buy and hold, owner finance it, whatever that strategy is. Part of being a house buying machine, which we're going to be rebranding a lot of things around here on Wi-Fi flips and house buying machines, is understanding where the profit is at and realizing that profit, right? And so we make our profit on the buy and we realize it on the exit. And so that is what these trainings are about, to give you free tools and free resources so that everybody, can know how to analyze a deal, right? If you know how to analyze a deal, then it's all about lead generation, negotiation, and execution, right? So with that said, we're trying to give you one of the key pieces around real estate investing. Okay, something practical, something you can really sink your teeth into, bite into, and be able to have intelligent conversations with your fellow investors, buyers, prospectors, and stuff like that. So again, thank you for joining live. If you're watching live, make sure you drop me a comment, questions, comments. I'm going to be switching screens, so if I don't get to your question right away, I will for sure make it a point to do that. I wanted to make sure that everybody knew where to find the free resources for that we're going to be using here today. So let me see here. We're going to be switching screens. Going to get dizzy a little bit second here. Boop. Okay. So if you guys go to my profile and even on the description, there is a bit.ly link. Bit.ly link to all this cool stuff. There you find a bunch of free training, and I'm going to guide you through it and kind of what that is. So here's a free training on how I went, from 80K in debt to 100K months with real estate investing, primarily virtual wholesaling, but we do keep some of the properties and, many of the rehabbers that we coach on, also focus on the buy, obviously. Here, if you want to schedule a session with our director of enrollment, it is by interview and application only. We're really picky. We only take 5 because we're looking to work with a certain amount of people only to make sure that we drive results with the one-on-one and the group mentoring. It's not a catch-all, but here's a lot of free resources, right, for you. So obviously the free Facebook group, here's the 35-page PDF around 7 ways to become a real estate investor in any market. I'm probably going to turn that into a book later on. Here's some wholesale deals inventory from our office is available. A lot of times our first dibs buyers get them. Um, 30-day coupon for what we like to use for the CRM, which is Touch. Investor Live is a great landing page as well, helps you get buyers. And then access to nationwide sold comps and tools, which is Batch, which is what we're going to be using even for non-disclosure states, and the free analysis course and bonus. And so I wanted to drive that home so that everybody knows what each one of these is. So the free analysis course and bonus. So when you land, it's going to be this. You just got to provide your email and opt in. And this is what it looks like. So it has a mini lesson around how to use this spreadsheet. This is a proprietary spreadsheet. It's something that I've developed throughout the years in my last, I guess it'll be 10 years now in REI since I started. Um, and so, you can get it here, you can download it, hope it serves you in your journey. So, with that said, I just thought to jump in here, kind of give everybody here an overview, right? When you make a copy or download your own copy, in real estate investing, you're going to have inputs, right? So that's going to be your buy price, your turns for the money, kind of the limiting variables, right, of the deal. So the details of the deal, right? And when you're underwriting it, you can underwrite it to make income, to make cash, essentially ordinary income, like wholesaling, assigning, fix and flipping, wholetailing, all this stuff is really income. It's not building wealth. You can build wealth, by acquiring properties and keeping them. But this income bucket is essentially the revenue bucket, right? And so oftentimes I see a lot of people make the mistake to go into full fix and flip mode, complicating the fulfillment section of their business when they have not dominated acquisition, when they don't have a surplus of motivated seller leads coming their way, when they have not dominated lead generation and streamlined that, right? And so if you take your eye out of the ball of buying, you're gonna find yourself like the common layman's story on flippers that they don't have deals. They're like, I'm a flipper, but I don't have deals. So what good is that, right? Like, absolutely, what good is that? So that's why I try to focus, the fam and everybody here to focus on the buy, because by buying in favorable terms, or price, wholesale terms or price, you are assuring yourself and securing, that exit, that profitable exit, more than just an exercise, right? And I think any experienced real estate investor will tell you that they've made money on deals, they've lost money on deals. Whoever tells you otherwise, they're probably a liar. Okay. So so assignments, fix and flip, or even what's called wholesaling in the MLS or wholetailing in the MLS. There's different ways to go about that. The key thing is that there's costs. There's some operational costs, and oftentimes when I get into the coaching calls with a lot of my fan members, if they're looking to take title, we got to underwrite the deal. We got to understand what are the holding costs, what are my out of pocket expenses, to understand, is this really for me, right? As a business owner, is this really for me? Especially if you're looking to go at it on the long term. Okay. And then we have the asset bucket. So the asset bucket is essentially building, some sort of residual income. I'll call it residual because I don't really believe that much in true passive. I mean, there's some true passive instruments out there, but rental bucket, when you're speaking with a landlord, especially if you're like looking to, sell a deal to a landlord, which they tend to pay more than flippers, right? Depending on the strategy of the market. But you want to talk to them in terms of cash out of pocket. What is their cash out of pocket after, hard money fees, short-term private money fees, and then refinancing if they're a landlord, right? So if they're using short-term to long-term, and then what is their cash on cash returns and equity capture, right? And so this is really what matters to a landlord, right? They want to see some equity, but more importantly than equity, they want to see cash flow. Okay. And by using short-term money and then refinancing that collateral, essentially taking their money out or minimizing the amount of money out of pocket, they're able to slowly but surely build wealth, meaning stacking up that net worth sheet of equity and houses that produce cash flow. And the reason I use residual versus passive is because if you ever been a landlord, you know there's really nothing passive about it. You need to either have a property manager, so you have to manage the manager, right? Um, or you manage it yourself, and there's smart ways and wrong ways to go about that. I'm by no means a landlord expert, although I do own rental properties, but I won't letting you know that it's more of residual because you can't necessarily eat this money, right? Like you can't necessarily eat this money, this passive net cash flow. No, you want to like essentially save it up to make sure that the AC doesn't break, the roof doesn't break, all this stuff, right? But you're building wealth in a tax advantaged environment for sure, right? Try go to your community bank, ask them for a loan because you're gonna buy the dip in crypto right now. That probably ain't gonna fly, right? And so, that's part of the asset bucket. And then owner finances. This is something that you want to use if you want to portray or sell the property on terms. This is very common on low median sales price markets, right? It's a lot more common, I believe, in terms of the practicality of it, because a 15K hit for a seller on a $200,000 house may feel a little bit different than a 15K hit in terms of equity on a $50,000 house that may cash flow 700 bucks, right, as a rental rate. So, just mentioning this because depending on the market that you're in, the numbers are going to tell you kind of what you should do, right? The numbers are going to tell you what you should do, right? So let's see here. Oh, press something here. All right. So I wanted to make sure that that was clear. Hopefully that helps. So everybody, if you're watching this live, make sure you drop me a hashtag live, and if you're watching this as a replay, make sure you drop me a hashtag replay. So we took care of the essentially the housekeeping items here, right? We took care of that. So everybody knows where to get the sheet. So I just went to My House Deals is, not an affiliate or anything like that, but a lot of wholesalers post their deals here. So they have a deal here on 2074 Morehouse Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. So if you go to Batch Leads, and there is an affiliate coupon code, whatever, here and the link in bio, you can click search and it will pull up the property, and it should pull up. I didn't even test it. It should pull up all the comparables and the profile for the property, the tax records, and all that good stuff. So we'll give it a little sec. Probably the internet is a little bit slow on my side, but just want to make sure that you guys know. So essentially, when you come in here, you click the little pin drop logo, you put the address. It's gonna use Google autocomplete. Let's see here. Let me try doing this real quick. If not, I guess we'll have to pick another address here. So you want to pick the pin drop and you want to put the location in there. So let me just refresh the window real quick because the delay might be on my side. Might be on my side. Let me try and take a look. And if y'all have any particular questions while I refresh this window, make sure to drop them in the comments. Also, in the description, there are links to all of the resources that I'm speaking of and using. So, just as a heads up, okay? Let's try that again because I was logged in for quite a bit, so that's probably, yeah, it's probably timed out. That's what it was. Got it. Okay. Boom. So, all right. So now we can go back to business. Okay. So boom, boom, boom. All right. So here we've got the address. It's 2074 Morehouse Drive, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia. And it gives us an estimated value of 155 with a 92% confidence score. Okay. And we'll kind of test that. And it's an estimated rate of 1450. So right off the bat, I'm seeing, hey, this seems to be kind of on the lower median sales price for houses. And because it's following, if you never heard the 1% rule, it's nearly following that 1% rule of after repair value or estimated value and the rent rate, right? So it's telling you 155, it's telling you that it may rent for 1450. So there you go. And the last time that it was sold late August of last year for $85,000. Okay. So I guess this is an investor that bought it and they probably own it outright. They're probably not wholesaling it, being something properties, at least for the legal record. So um, let's see here. All right. So he's stating he believes that after repair value is 350, that his asking price is 139, which is complete. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right house. 2705 2074 Morehouse Drive. He believes that his ARV is 350. Seller's asking price is 139, and he believes that it only needs about 35,000. So about $176,000 potential profit is what he's listing here. He just says, please do your own due diligence. And let's see. It says it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom. Batchley says it's 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Square footage, that's 950, and it was built in 1938. So he says here, 2 properties for price of 1. Oh, okay. For only 260 or $139,000 each. Was due diligence before submitting any offers. Must provide proof of funds and earnest money deposit after accepted offer. Property number 1, 200 Adeline Avenue, Northwest Georgia, is that one, and then this other one, 27. Okay, so he has. That's interesting. So he has 2 properties listed in 1 listing. Huh. I would not necessarily recommend that. Um, let's take so he put some links here. So let's see if we can open these links and see if we can get more info on each of them. Because if that's the case, his asking price is 139. It's not something else, right? It's not the 260 or whatever. It's 139. So okay. So nice video walkthrough. They got a nice I'm assuming they're probably side by side. This looks like near them teardown state. Oh yeah. Yeah, these puppies need some love right here. So 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 952. I wonder if they and then the other one's 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 700. So let's do one deal. Let's do the 200 Adeline Avenue, Northwest Georgia. Let's go ahead and take a look at the walkthrough real quick, just to get an idea of what sort of info they're giving us here. So this is a gut job, obviously needs absolutely everything, probably even some reframing. And what we want to do while checking out whatever information they're giving us is we want to go ahead and understand, obviously the condition. Oh man, so that's inside. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's is everything. All right, so we know it needs everything, and from framing to electrical, plumbing, everything. So it's a complete rehab right here. Man, look at that. So it's a pure block type of foundation with a pure block foundation. Okay, so that's pretty much what we got there, and that's cool. It's a 1946 house, but they're looking. So they use 2 comps. They use 170 Adeline Avenue Northwest and 252 Tiger Flower Circle. Okay, so we've confirmed 2 bedroom, 1 bath, supposedly 700 square feet. Okay, so now we're gonna go to batch. We're gonna look at the comps. We're gonna try and see what the market's doing, right? Because you know we got to figure out, even if you're buying a package of 2 properties, you want to understand if if they can stand on their own, right? You don't want to do uh, a bad deal on one and a great deal on the other one. Even if you're like financing, they're gonna look at it as one deed, right? If you're looking some sort of private money, hard money stuff. So with that said, so we got these right here, and I want to go straight out and see. So property class, property type, it automatically batch automatically went ahead and said, hey, here's what you're looking at in terms of, variables. I'm gonna go and say, okay, I'm gonna comp it just as it is, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, plus or minus 20% of square footage. Tax record has it as if it's 952 versus the listing that they have was 700 square feet. So I'll go with that for now. I'm going to click filter. I'm going to see, what sort of comps pull up. If this is a transitional area, then, I'm expecting to see some good high price sold comps. We may pull depending or the active later on, but right now we want to focus on sold. You want to focus on sold because that is what appraisers do. And when you're underwriting a deal, you want to essentially underwrite her as if you were an appraiser. I mean, it's not going to be that intense. You're not going to go get a license for an appraiser, but you want to go ahead and underwrite it as if, hey, appraiser, I'm putting my appraiser hat on. Now, right off the bat, these are all 2 bedrooms. Uh, No, I'm gonna do here, not same bedrooms. Yeah, okay. I was like, why is it not same bedrooms, same bathrooms? So the more relevant the comps, meaning the more close they are to the subject property that you're analyzing, the more confidence you should have on that deal, right? On that deal. So these are all 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, okay, and they are all within 1 mile. All right. And right off the bat, I'm seeing that there's some that are across major streets, right? There's a few of them that are just across major streets, which, you know, that reduces my confidence on the deal, right? So I see Joseph E. Boone Boulevard Northwest, that's a major street. We've got this comp right here at 220, right? That looks to be like a good comp. So definitely gonna go ahead and put it on the table as a comp. Just looking at pictures here. That's pretty much what we got for now. All right, so 220. And our wholesaler, he's asking 130. Okay. All right. We'll see. We'll see where this lands out. Now, this over here, these are already these are also close. And these are at 112, which is all below what the whole, and they look to have a kitchen. So that is not playing our favor to look for higher value. Um let's see right here. This one seems to be investor owned, and not many pictures here, but it's 118. So I'm just gonna put the question mark in there so I can go and revisit it, right? I'm just kind of going around here looking for what's nearby. Okay, looking for what's nearby. Now, I see another one on this side of Joseph E. Boone Boulevard Northwest. And it's 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 1945, 953. So I'm going to tag that as a comp. So a few concerns that are coming in my mind right now, if I were to buy this, right? If I were to buy this, I want to know, is there 700 square feet or is it 950 something square feet, right? Because that's going to affect the value, obviously. So I'm just going off of tax record right now, but that would be a question I would have for the wholesaler for sure. Like, is this really 700? Is it as small as you think it is, or is it 950 like the tax records, right? So I'd rather not go across Joseph E. Boone Boulevard Northwest for comps. Many things come into play, like school districts, right? And so if you think about the finished product for a rehab, who's going to be buying that house? The person that buys that house is going to be a retail buyer, an owner occupant, typically, right? So, so right now, looking at those two high end comps, right? It looks like we would get an estimated value of 244,188. Okay, is what we're looking at. Okay, and that's essentially ARV in pristine condition, fully rehabbed. As we know, this house needs everything. It probably needs sewer lines. Probably needs new beams, maybe foundation work too. I don't know if there's sinkholes in this area, but we're gonna go ahead and evaluate of it as it needs everything. Now, these two that I marked here, these other two lower ones, these two are in. They're not as nice. They're not as rehabbed. So I don't think we're taking them into account. If we were, it's gonna go down. I just plugged them in as comps to kind of look at, but they're more as is, not as updated from what I could tell. Okay, so we got our two rehab comps. So we're gonna go over here to spreadsheet. All right. We're gonna go here to spreadsheet and say, okay, 244, 188, right? So we're gonna say, okay, this property's worth 244. Do this. I'm just gonna go and duplicate. So you can just do that. Just click duplicate right here. And it should duplicate. I guess it's running a little bit slow, but duplicate the spreadsheet, and that way get a copy of it. There you go. Okay, hide this real quick. All right, so we're thinking, hey Joel, this value is 244. What did we say? 244, 188. Okay, so 244, 188. Boom. Now, purchase price. So they're selling it for 120, 130, sorry, 130. So let's assume that we're gonna pay that. We're gonna pay what they're asking. Survey appraisal, that's what you gotta check in your local area what that going rate is. We typically do not get uh seller contributions. Survey appraisal, that's just a guesstimate. Retail. So when you're looking to budget for retail, you need to budget for what I call retail FHA repairs, right? So that it meets FHA. And if you're really looking to take this down, right? If you're looking to take this down and maybe, if you have a hot buyer, you can JV with this wholesaler. You want to go ahead and pull up the pictures of these properties in detail. I'm not going to do that here, but you can pull up the pictures of these properties in detail so that you can take a look at the finishes, because you don't want to guess what sort of finishes are needed, right? You want to essentially keep it boring. Look at the comps, look at what finishes they have, and try to emulate that as much as possible to get this outcome. Um, if you can add a little bit of spruce, that's cool, but obviously it's a business. You want to keep your bottom line healthy. So just make sure that you're not overdoing it. Make sure that you are in line with what has sold so that you can get that 244, if that makes sense. Okay. So in terms of a complete rehab, the house is 900 and 50, let's see, 952 square feet. So let's assume that you could get this complete rehab done for, let's say, 65 $65 a square foot. Just let's go 70. 70 times 952. Let's see, so 952 times $70. That's 66,640. So ideally, we'll be able to do this for 60, let's call it 67,640. Okay, so 66,640. Boom. That is what it would take to get this property up to showroom condition, right? And that's at $70 per square foot. Okay. Labor, material, all that stuff. Now, the tricky thing is if you are a rehabber, you need to know and understand how to reduce these construction costs, right? Um, because this is a complete rehab, obviously, and also learn how to raise private money. So, in terms of taxes, let's see what sort of tax information we have on this property. So, so obviously it's tax assessed low. So this is a seems to be a very transitional area. So 582 is what we have here as a yearly tax rate. Now I'm just gonna take that as face value, but you definitely want to double check, triple check if there's like other school district type of taxes as well. I typically do here about 80% of living square footage in terms of insurance, just for rough numbers. And then here in terms of rental comp per month. So I wasn't clear if in fact this pulled rental comps, at least for this one. Um, it just gave you an estimate, but looking into here, I don't really see any low rental comps. No. The lowest sold property sold for 56,750, just if y'all cared about that. So here for kicks right now, we can do 1450 for estimated rent. I'm probably thinking of that if you're going to put 66, $70,000 into this property, you'll probably do a little bit more research and figure out you can rent it for more. Um, but it doesn't seem that Badge provides that data there. So let's go with 1,500 bucks for rentals. And it tells us right here, okay, you're buying at 81 cents on the dollar. That's what you're buying at. Okay. That's what you're buying at. And if you get these terms of short-term money, right? And you can watch some of my other videos regarding how to, you know, evaluate money. But if you're gonna get 75% loan to value, if you're gonna get two lender points, if you're gonna 10% interest, then that means that if you're gonna do a fix and flip, if you were to execute this, you know, accounting for holding costs, you will turn a profit here. So as of now, this is passing the litmus test. Assuming you're checking the square footage and that that 244 holds up, right? Now, that's for a full fix and flip in the MLS. I don't think he necessarily priced it wrong. Um, it's a little bit above of what other wholesalers or I mean as is property if it's sold for. But if you can still articulate the profit to your end investor, it's about what sort of profit they're after, right? They're after. So this is an instance where if I were to wholesale this on the MLS, it would probably not. I would definitely, test the off market first because it doesn't seem that going through that cost makes sense. It seems that a flipper would do okay if they were to pay that 130 that they're asking for. Now, if we look at rentals and rentals is about how much out of pocket I have, right? And what sort of cash on cash returns and what sort of equity capture I got. This is using short-term money to long-term money. So that's why landlords get wealthy slow, but sure, right? Or at least that's the idea. The one caveat is that you need to understand cash flow because repairs are going to come. Okay. So, with that said, it says here that with about $23,000 out of pocket with the deal, assuming you can get a loan for 75% of the value and that you can refinance later on, that you will have an equity capture. It's just on paper. It's what the property's worth as of these comps and the amount of cost that you have into it. You're going to have a 205 return on equity, and you're going to have a cash on 23%. Okay. So this to me, I mean, it looks like a healthy rental and it looks like a marginal flip, you know. Um, I think it with rehabbing, the key thing is that you're against the clock and you're managing construction, which is honestly probably one of the hardest parts of the business. I'd say probably after lead generation, right? Or before lead generation. It just depends on your strengths. But with that said, I would definitely give this a go. It's something that I'm probably thinking is going to move just based on underwriting. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments. I hope everybody enjoyed this. I had some fun doing it. Let's say, does Batch have a built-in rehab calculator like Blue Hammer? Yeah, I know exactly what you're speaking of there. I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I don't see it. I don't think so. I am still getting used to Batch, to be just frank with you. For the sole comps, um, you know, all these tools out there, and there's a lot of free tools out there. There's a lot of paid apps out there. Um, there was an app that I used to use when I used to rehab. It was called Make Ready app built by some of the guys in Houston from Fast Track Remodeling. So a shout out to Elijah and the team over there. Um, what you will find out in construction, if you and I don't know who's saying this, I'm just seeing Facebook user, but what you will find out with construction is nothing will substitute checking out your own cost and walking it down with contractors and seeing how they're organized about it, right? So that's why I'm a big fan of getting your house buying machine and your line of production first with deals, with contracts, getting it really profitable first, and then being able to hire a project manager that takes that load off of you so you don't take your eye off the ball, right? So you don't take your eye off the ball on the buys, okay? So, anyways, thanks for joining in. I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments what other questions you have. Um, as I mentioned earlier, no, I don't think that Batch has a built-in rehab calculator like Blue Hammer. I would highly suggest that you go ahead and uh, get your area costs because even materials have changed, obviously, with the supply shortage that we've been seeing across the board. So you don't want to bank on a deal knowing that the construction cost is such a key variable, right? And the delays and the holding costs. And that if that's one thing that I want you guys and gals to take away from these is when you analyze a deal, you got to analyze the holding costs and essentially the transactional costs involved with it. But if you dominate house buying, if you build your house buying machine that you're producing contracts on acquisition mode, then then you start hiring project man. Then you start taking on rehabs because the money's made on the buy. It's just realized on the exit. Okay. So appreciate all the love. Appreciate y'all dropping in. Make sure to check all the free resources in the link if you haven't checked them out. Got a free course, got free tools in there for everybody. And if you are interested in just fast tracking to results, getting me and my team's help, we've had some awesome members join, getting some outstanding results, which I cannot speak enough about. I mean, they're just amazing. And if you're just tired of dealing with the whole list stacking, just want to get leads come in, know how to close them, have systems so that you can actually get to the end result quicker. Kind of what my man Josh said, the short route versus the long route. Send me a DM or make sure to book a free application. Just go ahead and send your application and you'll interview with our director of enrollment. And if it sounds like it may be a fit, then we can talk about what that looks like. Hope that's fair enough. All right. Talk to y'all later. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.